up, guys? Got another build to show off. This is for one of my jiu-jitsu buddies. I haven't been to jiu-jitsu in a minute. After COVID hit, I just have not got back into the groove. Plus, I'm generally out of town through the week. But kept my number, said, hey, I want to get a watch. And went through all my stuff and wanted a build just like what I've done before up here, which the last one we did was a bead blasted one. This one's actually more of like a battleship gray kind of style cerakote case, but we did the same same dial, same hand setup, same bezel, but on this one wanted to go with a gold link band. So to tie in gold a little bit, I did a gold or a gilded getting at this cloth because this polished part down here is something that will take on fingerprints pretty easily. Did a gilded ring inside the glass, and I also went with a bead blasted gilded rotor in there too. So this is an Amphibia Neptune, which comes in a much smaller case. One of those cases that has the integrated band in it. So pulled all that from there, did a custom second sand on there, pulled the lume from that so you can see through it, and then did this build. So looks like the build we've done before. I was able to get a compass bezel from my buddy Yuri. He only made these in a small limit, so we were able to actually track one of those down. Did a black cerakoted and then engraved anchor on the crown. We have our gold PVD link band, and then we did the Amphibia logo lasered on there to match that of the dial. So showed you the back. We have a low profile exhibition case back, gilded rotor in there, bead blasted rotor, and you can't really see, but there is a stainless steel movement holder inside as well. So automatic mechanical. This bezel on here, we got it on there nice and tight. It will go left, it will go right. These are not clickable style bezels. This style bezel, it's on there extra tight because of that cerakote. So it will not move unless you want it to move. So automatic mechanical, you can wind it, you can wear it, you can put it in a watch winder, but if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do it is you back it off the crown tube till you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point you can wind, and a wind is a turn that way. Turning it towards you doesn't do anything, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and just go back and forth. You can wind it all day. Don't worry about how much you wind. If you do it for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, even if you're not very active, that mixed with your rotor movement in the back will keep time throughout the day. But if you do it for something closer to 20 seconds, you're going to max out that 31 plus hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it as a reference, so don't worry about that. When you're happy with your winding, pull it to the one and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You're also going to notice you have a wobble crown that deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So when you're pushing and prying out, you're not putting any adverse pressure or anything. It is rolling with it. That said, you also have a date wheel. And I already have your date set, so I can't really show you how to do it. But let's say you put this watch down for a while, you don't pick it up, and it is the 12th. And you're like, I want it to say the 12th down there. Well, there is not a position to just set that. Most people are just wearing their watches each day, so they're keeping up with it daily. But these days we have multiple watches and don't wear them all the time. We just roll through whatever watch we want to wear. So if you're wanting to set that, how you'll do this is you will spin this around until the date advances, okay, at midnight. Go back to 8 p.m., then go forward to 12. It will advance it another day. Go back to 8. Now when you go back to 9, you'll start seeing it kick a little bit. You want to make sure that you go past that and then push it forward, because if you advance it then when it's showing a mid kick, a lot of times it will come off track in there. So don't want that to happen. Another pro tip, if you're ever going back and forth and advancing it, and you advance it and you noticed that the date did not advance, It's been in my experience. Don't do a quick date set again. Go the full 24 hours and have it advance. Then go back to that 4-hour window. The 2 times I've had people tell me that happened, they went to advance it again and they said, now it no longer advances. And you have to tear it all down and put it back on. So I'm not a big date wheel fan myself in that gearing mechanism in there. And I've only had literally 2 issues ever. But that said, there's no quick date set. So a lot of people don't like that. And the other thing is if you ever are in the quick date set scenario and you notice it does not advance, go full 24 hours, make it advance, and then go back to that. Also, go back to 8 o'clock. Don't do 9 to 12. Do 8 to 12. Make sure you're past that little kickback on it. Get past that and then advance it forward. So those are my pro tips. If you do that, you should be just fine. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 2:52 p.m.
2:52 p.m. Put it over. Push it in, get it out of that date set, and crank it down. That is your build, sir. So with every build, you're going to get a couple things. You're going to get some watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts. So this watch as a whole, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. You'll also get, which I don't have sitting here, so let's grab some so I don't forget to give it to you. Some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon. It is basically just like poly watch. You've got an acrylic glass and you can scratch it if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it, buff against it using your included microfiber that I keep hitting it with, and polish that out. If you got to scratch up and down, go left and right, fill that scratch, buff it, and you should have it back to perfect. Now if you scratch your gold PVD, there's no going back from that. If you scratch your cerakoted, it will just take it down to silver that's under there. So it's just like a car. You wouldn't scratch it against a brick wall. Don't want to do that with a watch either. But this has quick disconnects on there. We can always get you a new one and swap this clasp out. This tapers to a 20. It goes from 22 to 20. So if we'd ever swap something and we want to keep the same one, we'd want to either use the same style band or just send out the larger 22 millimeter one and have it engraved. And then if we ever did anything with the case, we just got to pop everything off. And because everything's kind of built on that, that's kind of the shell of the car. So that's it, buddy. There's your build. I appreciate you thinking of me and wanting me to build you something. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thank you.